What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 134. And boy, oh boy, do we gather today on a very somber day. I cannot remember the last time that I have gotten so sad and so upset. Not even from just one specific fight, but just an entire fight card. Just everything. Just nothing happening how I want it to.
Yeah, I think people need perspective because after the fights ended, Jimmy literally went and laid on the couch, hand over his face, and was just there for a while. I was like, oh, he's not okay.
Yeah,
I was like, well, time to go take a nap with the cats.
I was going through it.
Yeah, I feel on that. Kind of the same. I literally was probably I went to go work out. I probably was punching the bag for a good 30 minutes.
Oh, no, I didn't even, not even the heart in me to even punch or do anything like that. Yeah, it was just nothing
Pure
but sadness.
depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have recovered over a good night's sleep, so now I can talk about it, I guess. Oh my goodness, here we go. Before we get into it all, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We appreciate everyone that does. Let's go. But we are all here. Everybody knows why we're here. You're gonna see it in the titles and the thumbnails and all of that, you know?
Yep.
UFC 308 from Abu Dhabi, their 20th trip to the country that they were saying on the broadcast. This time, it's not headlined by Islam. Not headlined by Habib or anyone not native to the area, but the general hometown territory kind of feel, It was headlined by Ilia Topuria, looking to make his first title defense against Maximus Blessed Holloway, former featherweight champ, and that he does successfully in the most spectacular fashion that anyone has ever done against Max Holloway. Gets the third round knockout, 1:34 into the round. Absolutely the one result that we did not want.
Yeah, it really sucks because with Max being so beloved in all of our hearts, it's hard to give the true appreciation that Ilia deserves, And after a good night's sleep, it is much easier to do so, but it's it was just so rough to watch, and in the moment it was like, damn bro, this sucks that it's he performed beautifully. It's Conor McGregor talking shit about, oh, he was getting touched up in there. I'm pretty sure it's physically impossible to not get touched by Max when in 2 rounds he has thrown almost 200 strikes.
Yeah. Because they showed that on the broadcast while we're watching, and I'm like, okay, obviously it's Max, he always throws a lot, but it's we know live numbers are always, they could be drastically off, you know what I mean? And then looking at it today, next day when they got full stats in and everything, it's 100 and something, round 2, 80 something, 80 round 1.
Yeah, it was, 182 strikes thrown in the first 10 minutes of the fight. It is impossible to not get touched up by that. That's just...
Yeah, man.
No.
It is one of those things, everybody knows it. There's no one that puts out a pace on the feet with strikes like Max does in the octagon. It's just unheard of what he's able to do.
Yeah.
No,
with that, it's his accuracy was not great, and it's because Ilia was performing so well. In the moment watching it, it was so scary because his head movement was flawless. He caught Max's rhythm, and he was just moving through a lot of those shots to land his big ones and find the right time for the shot that he did. It was so good from him. That's all you can really say. Just a spectacular performance. Like you said, Jimmy, no one else has ever done it. This was such a way to solidify that he's a scary man in that division,
No, yeah, 100%. And that left hook that he lands to, put Max down, officially for the first time was just picture perfect beautiful. It really was.
Yeah. It's for Ilia to be the first person to knock out Max, it cannot be, understated how absolutely incredible that is. This man, across 32 UFC fights, I think this was his 33rd one or something like that, or maybe this was his 32nd, so 31 UFC fights, but across 30 plus UFC fights, and absorbing 2,200 plus significant strikes across that run. This man has never even officially been sat down on the stats or anything.
The first questionable time was Gaethje in his last fight.
Yeah.
And that's Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
Like
there were two. When he fought Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight title, he almost went down, kind of got saved by the cage, but those are like the only times where we're like,
yeah,
oh shit, with Max Holloway.
But it's like, look at the names we just said. Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. You know what I mean? It's like
55ers.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, this dude's resume of big punchers too. Ilia Topuria obviously gets knocked down this one, but Justin Gaethje, the Korean zombie, Arnold Allen, like, he's not the biggest puncher, but he's a solid puncher too. Volkanovski's a good puncher. Yair has dynamic striking. Calvin Kattar's a great boxer. Dustin Poirier, Jose Aldo twice, Anthony Pettis, Ricardo Lamas, Jeremy Stevens, Charles Oliveira, fucking Cub Swanson, Akira Corisani, Clay Collard, Andre Fili, Conor McGregor. Like, it's the list of people that have scored many knockouts in the UFC and other high-level promotions and have fought Max Holloway, and most of them have lost, and even the ones that do usually only get it done by decision. Dustin Poirier in his UFC debut being the one man to get a submission over him in his UFC run.
Right, 12 years ago.
It's like, to fight prime Conor McGregor coming up, you know what I mean, as a fucking kid, and the only person that Conor wasn't able to finish on his featherweight run, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ilia Topuria, in back-to-back fights now too, knocking out Volkanovski and knocking out Max Holloway. I know we were talking about it a bit on, like the preview of if he's able to get, like, the knockout, the fighter of the year talk. You know what I mean? Because obviously it's him in Poatan.
Yeah.
With how he performed and getting it done, it's hard. I feel like the vibe of the year has been more of Poatan because of the consistency, because of him filling in on all of these big cards, 300 International Fight Week. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. Not only him just filling in short notice, so it's like, hey, a champion just, you know what I mean? It's the big cards. Like, headlining the big cards, filling in for Conor McGregor, filling in for 300, like...
Yeah, but...
My biggest argument against it, because it's a great argument, I understand the argument completely, is he just knocked out two people who most people would consider, at minimum, numbers somewhere between 1 and 3 in the greatest champions in the division's history.
Yeah.
Potentially the greatest champions in the division's history.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's knocking them both out. Yes, with Volkanovski, he was coming off the knockout loss, probably came back maybe a little too soon. But we don't have that same thing with Holloway.
Yeah, and it's like the way he put out Holloway, it just kind of puts it into perspective that honestly that shot probably would have put out Volk either way.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And because with what you were saying, I'm pretty sure that's exactly where Jimmy was going, is that like the year has been all about Pereira, but it's like after this, it's like Ilia might be the real contender for fighter of the year.
Yeah, bro, dude went out here this year undefeated and knocked out, like, to Ginger's point, like, arguably the greatest featherweight of all time, if not number 2, in Alexander Volkanovski, who is still ranked in the top 5 pound for pound at the time, knocked him out bad in the second round, done, takes the title, and then goes out here, Max Holloway ranked number 11 in the pound for pound rankings, and becomes the first person to knock him out. It's like, that is, like, it's just one of those things where we're talking about last year where, like, people wanted to downplay Islam, you know, beating fucking, like, Volkanovski. It's like, dude just beat 2 top 3 pound for pound fighters back to back in Oliveira and Volkanovski, you know? It's like, that is not something to be underestimated at all. Like, that is so, it is rare you get 2 top 15 pound for pound fighters fighting in general. To go back to back defeating 2 of them, that's amazing.
And to the one point that you always bring up when we talk about it, it's that he got Volkanovski out in the first round. And it's like...
with Islam.
Yeah, with Islam. So it's like, with doing that, your first round is going to be your best round if you're taking a fight short notice. You know what I mean? You don't lose your skill because you didn't go through a camp. At most, you lose your cardio. You also don't gain a chin going through camp. You know what I mean? So it's like... what happened because Islam was just better that night. Like,
better that night, was able to use like a very similar, because he said that was the game plan for Oliveira, like was able to use a very similar game plan to what he had, Volk not going in with a complete game plan, kind of just going off what they did the last time with like very minimal tweaks that he wasn't really able to train.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's like I know with like Ilia knocking out Volk, it's like taking it 3 months after getting knocked out. It's like obviously that was way too quick of a turnaround, but it's like just one of those things where time just puts things into perspective, and it's like especially with him knocking out Max Holloway, it's like it's just one of those things where him beating Volk how he did, it's not like he landed some grazing shot that put Volk down and it was like, oh, clearly his chin is busted from the last one, It's like he was patient, calculated, moved forward, and when he finally got the timing distance, landed the one clean shot to put him down. It's like, I honestly do think, even if Volk had five extra months on top of that, or even a full year, it's like that one shot he landed, he's still knocking out Volk with that punch. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, man, I do probably think that Ilia Topuria is your fighter of the year this year. It's just absolutely incredible what he's been able to do. And with him talking about, like, I want to fight, for the 55 title, I want to fight for the 170 title, Volk went into the cage afterwards, and, Ilia gave him all the respect that it's like, yeah, if anyone deserves another shot, it's him, you know what I mean? So that was definitely nice to see, of just, obviously, Ilia being all brash talking, like, leading up to the fight and everything, and, like, especially with the Volk one, too. But, like, afterwards, just really showing the humble side, and it's, like, giving all the respect to Volk and Max, like the champions they deserve.
Yeah, I do think love to see that.
I do think a lot of bravado is just, like, that, Showtime bravado, just, like, I want to sell this fight, I want to make the most money, I want to be a star. This is the best way to do it.
No, yeah, for sure. But that's why it's so good of him to then show, like, the real humanizing side of him, because that's the side that people relate to and will love. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you do all that trash talk or whatever, then you perform the way that you do, and then you proceed to show respect, like how, nothing but love then. Like, but with that, like, you're talking about him wanting to move up and stuff. It's like, I just don't know how soon something like that can really get done, and I don't want it to be pushed because I don't want things held up for people. Because obviously, he's saying that he'll give Volk that next fight, like he deserves it. Islam is gonna fight Armin. We'll just keep 170 out of it for now because that's clearly further away. But
that's way further away.
Ifs as well.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like after Volkanovski, there's still Diego Lopez, who just went through Brian Ortega, no problem. There's Movsar Evloev, who is on a great streak. He's about to fight Aljo. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him another fight in between, especially because of timelines. But like, there's just multiple people at featherweight right now that can easily be contenders for the belt, and new ones at that. Yeah. That it would just suck if right after, let's say he beats Volk and Islam beats Armin or whatever happens there, that it's like, okay, now I'm going to move up and do this, and it just leaves shit stagnant. I know it opens up an interim title, but...
The only one that... It makes more sense for 155 than it does for 145.
Yes.
Because really at the moment, it's Armin, and then, like, if Oliveira beats Chandler, then it's potentially a rematch, or if somehow Chandler beats Oliveira, I mean, that's a fresh matchup, but I do not see Chandler having any sort of chance against fucking Islam.
Yeah. I mean, Chandler's just one of those guys where it's honestly, like, I give him the chance to go out there and knock out anyone in the division first round. You know what I mean? It's like, I really just do not put that past him.
He almost had Oliveira out of there in the first round.
Yeah, man, got a 10-8 round.
No, that's
one.
true.
It's like that. Just absolutely beat the brakes off of him through the first 5 minutes.
It's like what we were talking about. It's like what we talk about with like heavyweights and stuff, though. It's like he's got one round, and then he's got like maybe a couple explosions after that.
Oh, for sure.
That's kind of like the problem. And plus, what happens if he tries to explode, and then Islam double leg takedown, and
Well, hear me out. Because Max Holloway said that he wants to commit to 155 and International Fight Week is looking good to him. Let's say he gets the winner of Oliveira Chandler. Oh, and then that's the title eliminator. Because at 155, he just knocked out Gaethje, which is a clean fucking win. Oliveira just lost to Armin, so if he beats Chandler, that's only one win. You do the title eliminator with them, that puts them both on 2-fight win streak in the top 5, though. You know what I mean? Throw them in there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
And even if it's Chandler,
I'm not gonna lie. If anyone deserves a fucking payday, it's fucking Max Holloway. And if there's anything that I'd be really interested in seeing, it would be Max and Conor at 155. Let's see if Max can avenge that fucking loss.
Yeah,
I would give him a fucking payday for it.
Or
because
International Fight Week, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, that'd be fucking huge.
No, yeah, and so that's the thing that's hard with Conor, because obviously it's it's just the thing where so many people don't think that he's gonna fight again, but the talks of him being just being in the division and just potential matchups, it's just coming more about, you know what I mean? Him talking shit to Ilia after the win too, I think, in my opinion, because I didn't even fucking think of Oliveira Chandler winner fights like Max Holloway, that's just fucking disgusting. Oh my god! I've been wanting Max versus Oliveira for a while, but bro, if Chandler gets it done, I don't think my heart could take Max going into a Chandler fight just after seeing that. You know what I mean? That's just a lot. But we get Ilia versus Volkanovski sometime next year in Spain, whatever mega card, you know what I mean? Just make that big. We get Conor McGregor coming back against Dan Hooker whenever that happens. Let's say March or some shit, because already calling that that's just a fun fight, and that's a fight where it's Conor's he's gonna come back to a fight that's gonna be big, but one that he thinks is very winnable. I don't think Max is someone that he's coming right back to. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So let's get him versus Dan Hooker. Not Ilia. Islam is gonna beat Armin in January. Hopefully, that's the best case scenario. Because after that, he's going to have the longest consecutive title defense streak at lightweight. No one has ever done 4 in a row. Yep. I feel like he's going to be fine with... He has already been talking about wanting to move up to 170. So, after he beats Armin, he goes up to 170. Maybe it's a Shavkat as the champion, and we get a fucking Shavkat versus Islam fight. I don't know. That would be crazy. But then, if all things go according to plan, maybe Conor beats Dan Hooker. Maybe Ilia beats Volkanovski again. Vacant 155 title. We get Conor versus Ilia. You know what I mean?
It's possible. I can't lie. That's
entirely possible.
It's so
I do think it is. I do have questions on if Bilal is still champion. Is Islam still would Islam still fight Bilal?
No.
Okay, so
bro, if Bilal,
this all hinges on Shavkat winning.
Yeah, and that's where it's just so crazy how it's literally the 170-pound title fight happening at the end of this year affects the 155 and 45 title picture in so many different ways.
In the next year.
Because it's like you said, if Bilal wins, Islam's not going up. So then it's Ilia beats Volk. Now, do we actually get Ilia versus Islam next year?
Probably not.
What do you mean probably not? Because
we probably would. No, never mind.
We could, but again, what if it happened the way that I'm saying, where it's Islam beats Armin, International Fight Week comes around, and it's winner of, or maybe not even, because that's when Max won it, winner of Charles and Chandler versus Max, and then he defends again later in the year against the winner of that, and then Ilia has people to fight at 45. Because if Max wins... It just gives them that new person, and again, I know it's a whole lot of ifs and whatever, but it's things to build.
Yeah,
true. Because
with 145, we have Lerone Murphy coming up, which we'll talk about later later. We got, like you said, Aljamain and Movsar. If Movsar wins, he 100% deserves a title shot. Aljamain wins, you can sell that as the former 135 champ trying to gain a title in a new division. And you got Diego Lopez, who has all the hype in the world.
So the thing that, as I was going off of that, I forgot with 145 is because Ilia because right now you have Volk, Movsar, and Diego that are all very deserving of title fights right now. If Ilia beats Volk, obviously that gets that one out of the way. And then if Ilia is going up, now you do an interim title between Movzar and Diego. The rematch of 5-round fight, actually deserving. You know what I mean?
That would be so good.
Yeah, and then it's like now if Ilia stays or whatever, you know what I mean? Now it's like just promote and now it easy. You know what I mean? Like
unification or promotion. Yeah.
Yeah. So. That would be the way to solve that. It's like you need to just get... But the thing with that, it's like that would just take very long to get done, where it's like that interim title fight's probably coming like fucking third, fourth quarter of next year. You know what I mean? And it's like, how many times does Diego want to fight before, you know what I mean? So...
No, yeah.
There are so many ways that it can go, but...
Do you think Volk and Ilia... No, Ilia already said he wanted to fight in Australia, although that would be that would have been huge if they did that Volk Ilia, but
if they
don't want to do that.
If Ilia was down to do that in February, that would speed things up to like bro, if we literally got fucking Islam in January and then fucking Ilia Volk in February, like that's all perfect timeline for everything to flow. Yeah. But that is not going to happen.
That could be an international fight week fucking headliner right there.
I feel like they're going to look to get that done in Spain, but
that would be a good one. Well, that one, if it's a 145, 155, trying to go for double champ, I could also see them still doing that in Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia,
Yeah, that'd be
like either Spain or it would be.
Yeah, Ilia getting it done. Like Ilia should just fight Volk in February, get it done easy, just fucking turn around the title fights, and then now it's like, okay, set up a fucking fight with Islam at 155 champ versus champ in Spain, fucking huge stadium. You know what I mean? Just, yeah.
It would be also huge in Spain if they did Diego versus Ilia, both Spanish speakers. So then it's the promotion for it in Spain is going to be really easy.
I mean, as long as Topuria is in it, it'll be big for Spain. And there's multiple contenders there that, like, no matter what, I think it's going to be big. I just feel like they should stop missing their opportunities when they have champions of going places that they could.
Would it be too controversial? Because Dana White already said that he wants to take Noche to different places. Do they do Mexican Independence Day in Spain? Ilia Topuria versus Diego Lopez. Is that too controversial?
For the MMA fans, no. For normal people, probably.
You're a goddamn fool.
But yeah, either way, all I know is with Ilia Topuria is that his run right now is the absolute start to a great, he is knocking on the door of greatness with those 2 wins this year. It's like obviously he has so much to do, so many big fights to still win, but he's a few away from really cementing himself as a legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And then, with Max, it's anything that he wants to do. It doesn't matter. But, I definitely like 155 for sure. And it's like,
I like how
Dustin trilogy, Oliveira rematch, Chandler fight, Conor McGregor rematch, the fucking Dan Hooker. And there's so... Like, the names are endless of the people that he can fight. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to lie. Him versus Dan Hooker is an insane fight.
Yeah. But, so Ilia gets himself an extra $50,000 with that performance bonus. Going on to the co-main event, also earning himself a performance bonus. Motherfucking Khamzat Chimaev also remains undefeated. Gets the first round submission over Robert Whittaker. First man to submit Robert Whittaker. First man to finish him inside the first round at middleweight.
Brutal.
Bro, this was... Oh my god.
It was really confusing at the time because if you have not seen the injury, go look it up.
Crazy.
Because it's insane.
Yes.
And Whittaker's 3 front teeth are literally pointed towards the back of his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
That is why he taps so quick, because all of a sudden just, bam. It's like, that's the reason why.
Yeah, because fight starts, and Khamzat definitely did start, I was expecting a double leg within the first 5 seconds or so, you know? I think it took 15 seconds about or something like that, but it was just he's actually standing in front. shoots on the double leg. It's like the way that he shoots in on his opponents from such a far distance. It's like there are so many times where we're watching a fight, someone shoots a takedown, and it's like as they're doing it before they make contact, it's like that was too far out. You know what I mean? And then they the exchange starts happening. That never happens with Khamzat. It's like he shoots and he's in, no matter the distance that he goes from. It is absolutely ridiculous.
He may have to chain a little bit just because, dude
yeah.
gets a leg out or something, but it's never, this is just not going to work at all.
Yeah. And to start it, Whittaker was doing great with the defensive work and everything. It's like, as it started to go, he got taken down, but he was moving good underneath, started to instantly work back up, and it was just like, it was that moment of like, oh shit, is this how the fight's going to play out? Like, Whittaker's going to get up and act, you know what I mean? It's just going to start going into that. And then just persistent with it, gets him back down, just all over him. And, bruh, like you said, as soon as he put in that... Because he was going for the rear naked choke a few times, but it was never getting underneath or anything. You know what I mean? Whittaker doing good. And then as soon as he decided to fully squeeze and lock in on that, on the chin, within a second or so, Whittaker is... just a crazy panic tap. And it's just like, and it was just like, holy shit, fucking Whittaker is actually tapping like that, like not even under anything. And like you said, that picture.
Then you saw the picture and it's like, Khamzat did that quickly. He did explain a little bit how, I guess he had an injury when he was a kid that kind of had his teeth a bit loose.
Yeah.
And so, he said that he felt them move back a bit during the Dricus fight when Dricus had the crank on him, but it wasn't that bad. But when it came to Khamzat, just like, the immediate squeeze, he was like, oh, I'm fucked. Like, But him talking about now I can properly get them fixed.
Which, that just shows the fucking squeeze on Khamzat fucking Chimaev.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, bruh. It's like the... People be talking shit about, like, the inactivity and all that, and it's like, he has been very inactive between fights, and everything, but it's like, a lot of that, it's just like, he has just had medical things, but it's not like he's, it's usually when he gets booked for a fight, he does show up and actually fight, you know what I mean? And if he's talking all leading up into this one, that, like, actually doing things right, and, you know what I mean, like, has a real team with just,
like a nutritionist.
Nutritionist, everything. He's not just training till complete exhaustion, just fucking his body, like, if he can keep himself healthy and he could get back to not even the crazy 10-day turnaround and just doing all, that was
twice a year like a normal fighter.
Or even 3 times a year,
2-3 times a year.
Yeah. Bro, he is a problem in the 185-pound division for anyone. Because it's just... Like, with the Usman fight, there were so many doubts of what he's going to be able to do to actually these top guys. But it's like, even, like, as good and goofy and fucking, like, crazy as Dricus is becoming the champion and all the skill set that he has, like, he didn't get Whittaker out of there that quickly. You know what I mean? It's like...
No one, no one in middleweight has.
Yeah.
Izzy was close in their first fight.
Yep.
And that was Whittaker coming off multiple injuries, just really fucked in the head.
Yeah.
That I explained before, but, just...
It's all I know after that win for Khamzat is, that's the only real win he has in that division. But that's one of the best wins you can ever get on your resume, especially still because it's not like Whittaker's fucking 36 years old and washing. He's 33.
Right.
Like,
he's 33. His only losses in the division right now are to
current champ Dricus.
Dricus, Izzy.
Yeah, and Izzy is the second greatest fighter in that division all time. It's
so it's the best win you can ever get. Give this man I'm going to go off for a second. Fuck Sean Strickland.
Yes.
Give this man a fucking title shot.
That's exactly
where I was going. I'm not saying Strickland is a duck because he may have never been offered Whittaker. But publicly was saying was not going to fight Whittaker. He deserved a title shot. To then take a fight with Paulo Costa, who had just lost to fucking Whittaker. And then I deserve a title shot. I'm not fighting Whittaker. Whereas Khamzat just went in there and fucking blasted the doors off Whittaker, even though I hate to say that because I love Whittaker.
No, yeah.
And he deserves a fucking title shot against Dricus. Sean Strickland can fucking fight Nasruddin again.
No, yeah, because it's like, that's the thing, is Strickland was gifted the title shot. And he won in great fashion, and that was so good for him. Like, great for him. But he lost it immediately. He didn't have a single title defense. There are people moving through this division, and since losing his title, he had one close fight with Paulo, winning the split decision over Paulo. You're going to tell me that that's a better win into his title shot than, like you said, blowing the doors through fucking Whittaker?
Yeah, who was on a 2-fight win streak just this year, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, man, it's just... It's like, and to your point of like, oh, he might have never been offered the fight against Whittaker, but it's like, if you're publicly saying that I'm not fighting anyone, I'm only fighting for the title, and then you have Whittaker that's like, I'm fighting anyone to get the title shot, you know what I mean? It's like, they're gonna offer Whittaker the fights, and they're gonna do whatever they want with the title picture, and just, work whatever negotiation with Sean Strickland. It's like, and then with especially having Whittaker and Khamzat fighting, that is a fight that they are definitely going to sit on, wait for the result to make the decision. Because even Dana White in the post-fight press conference, like that, a reporter asked him, like, oh, you've been saying that Sean's getting the title shot, but after this, like, can Khamzat get it? And he kind of laughed, and he's like, we'll see on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, just because Tuesday's matchmaking for them.
Okay.
That's what he always says. Like, I don't make fights the day of, like, wait till Tuesday.
There are very few that he has made an exception for.
Yeah. But
because it's just like, like I don't. There's nothing else going on in the there's no other contender who's like has a rightful say to get a title shot outside of this one person. It's like, this guy's got the next shot.
Yeah. So it's just like, for him to be like, no, we'll see what's going on. You know what I mean? Give me Dricus and Khamzat. That is easily the greatest fight to make at 185 pounds. They're like. Fuck Sean Strickland and Dricus. Like that, like, it was a close fight, but it's not like it was some fucking crazy fight or whatever is anything like spectacular. Bro, Dricus versus Khamzat is gonna be such a fun fight for as long as that
I need to
lasts.
see this fucking grappling exchanges. I just need to see those I need to see Dricus defending and coming off of the bottom from that. Like, that is... I need to see that.
Yeah.
And as a Dricus hater, I would love for it to become a Gaethje situation where it's like, oh, he doesn't have great jiu-jitsu, gets a base and then just gets rear naked choked for it.
Yeah. But yeah. Great fight. I really hope the UFC makes that one next. Let's get it done and let's not wait too long on it because there's really no need for that.
Yep.
Moving on down the card, though, to the featured bout, motherfucking Magomed Ankalaev, who shouldn't have even been here fighting at all, but just putting his number one contender spot on the line against Alexander Rakic, and he gets it done by unanimous decision. A close fight, but still, like, it just obvious win for Mago.
Yep.
It ate a whole bunch of leg kicks in this one.
He checked a lot of them.
Yep. But
checked a good amount,
I know that Ginger, before the pod, you were saying, I think it was about 66% of
64% of his significant strikes were leg kicks.
Yeah, for
out of the 53 landed, 34 were kicks. Leg kicks.
Ridiculous. So
biggest reason he lost the fight.
Yeah, one of those things where obviously it landed a lot of leg kicks, and we know that Rakic does have solid leg kicks. Does not have as good leg kicks as Jan Blachowicz or as powerful. You know, that is definitely something that we learned. Also, is just kind of crazy that Mago's striking with him the entire time, and just Rakic got knocked out 6 months ago, and just not able to really hurt him or do any big meaningful, like, you know what I mean, like, just just kind of surprising with that. I really thought he I mean, him winning by decision, not surprising, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he went to some more grappling with it, whatever. But
I would have been surprised if he did. The only one who shot a takedown was Rakic once in the third round.
Yeah.
Like, but that's why Magomed be trying to tell people he doesn't go to the grappling. He really could.
But, like, the thing with me is, like, it's kind of surprising, kind of not, because the only knockouts that Magomed has in the UFC are Marcin Prachniow, not a good fighter, Dolce,
not good,
Ian Kundalaba,
not good,
Anthony Smith,
great fighter,
who was also injured, and Johnny Walker.
Great fighter.
He's not as powerful as he leads on to be.
Yeah.
He's not a knockout artist. He's knocking out people on the regional scene a lot.
Yeah.
And then knocking out, like, so-so fighters. He went 5 rounds with fucking Thiago Santos.
Yeah.
Old and broken Thiago Santos.
Because it's like, I know it's obviously one of those things of like, because he's been saying that he's going to go out there and knock out Poatan, you know what I mean? And like, styles make fights. Rakic is someone that is going to be like much more aware and just trying to be safe in the fight, you know what I mean? Than someone like Poatan. He's going to be moving forward, looking for his opportunities, but he's always going to put himself in the fire trying to do it, you know what I mean? So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if Magomed was able to go and like knock out Poatan, where like not being able to get a knockout here. But it's like, it's just like, yeah, I do feel like, because he landed a lot of really good left hands on Rakic's chin that was like putting his head back really far.
Yeah.
But like for him to never be rattled or anything like that, it's like Poatan has a much better chin at 205 than what he did at 185 getting knocked out by Izzy. It's like, I don't think it's going to be so easy for Magomed to just go out there and knock out Poatan like you think it is.
And not only that, like with the Izzy knockout, it wasn't even just like, it was like, a strike he threw where, Poatan's in his, normal position. It was a counter overhand right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing that everyone is not remembering. It was a counter. It was an overhand right that he just didn't see, that was landed on him in the first Izzy Poatan fight in the UFC. But it's also like, that's completely different than the strikes that Ankalaev is landing on Rakic, which is why I don't think he'd be able to knock him out. But also because, like, Poatan is a good counter striker. He can counter strike. And on the list of who Ankalaev has fought, the only 2 power punchers I would say he's fought are Volkan Oezdemir and Thiago Santos. We haven't really seen his chin tested like that.
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, it's that after that, I mean, even before this win, that was the fight to make, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But clearly, as long as Poatan is looking to defend that title any amount of other times, is Magomed Ankalaev. That's the only fight to make at 205 for that championship belt. Let's go. I cannot wait to see how that one plays out. Bro, if Poatan's able to get it done over Ankalaev, it's like, that's just incredible. Yeah. That's just like the last big challenger that he has left, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like, what, he's just gonna sit at top waiting for fucking Carlos Oberg, hoping to get to the top, you know what I mean? Gonna do a trilogy with Yuri, a rematch with Jamal, a rematch with Jan Blachowicz. Like,
Dricus moves up?
Yep.
Bro, because I know he said that, he talked about going back down to 185 to fight Dricus. I'd be way more interested to see Dricus go up to 205 and fight him. It's way better of a fight there. But yeah, we'll see how everything plays out at 205 pounds. Going on down to 145, back in the featherweight division. Motherfucking Lerone Murphy, another undefeated fighter on this card. The undefeated fighters did very good on this card.
Yes.
Remains undefeated, improves to 15-0-1 in his overall career, gets the unanimous decision win over Dan Ige. Cade's been saying that Ige was going to knock him out, and for a real quick moment there, I thought he was going to get it done. And
the first round, he dropped him, had him hurt. I was like, yo.
I was also thinking, like, I thought Lerone was more than likely going to win, but I'm like, Ige's one of those guys, man. Ige is one of those guys. It's like, you drop your hands for a quarter of a second, all of a sudden, wait, why am I on a knee?
No, yeah. And it's like, obviously, Ige is just one of those big punchers at 145 pounds. But it's like, yeah, I really did think that Lerone was just going to be a lot better where that wasn't even going to be much of a problem. You know what I mean? Like, just, and it's like, it's just one of those things where there are certain, like, certain performances for certain fighters where, I get them too caught up in my head, you know what I mean, and just keep thinking back to like all of their fights, like as they're going through their career, and like even as they're getting better and everything, just not giving them the full respect of that, but so it's like, yeah, I just with Ige losing to or what, he got the split decision. I forget if he got the decision over Barboza or if he lost that one. Yeah, he got the split. I just remember thinking that he should have lost that, and he just looked terrible in that one. But it's just like, Ige is a great fighter. I thought Lerone was gonna be better, have no problems getting it done. But yeah, just definitely showed his toughness and ability to pull through, hanging in there, showing off some of that grappling skill too. You know what I mean? To get by in this fight.
Yeah, the third round was fun with their grappling. Not a whole lot went on, but it was just fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. Also, I just want to point this out. I love how you're holding on to one win where he should have lost from 4 years ago.
Yes,
but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things, because it's also like, I know what it's saying of like, oh, that he might like Ige's gonna knock him out. It's like, since then he's gotten 3 finishes: Gavin Tucker, Damon Jackson, Andre Fili.
No, yeah.
That's a very different caliber of fighter compared to Lerone Murphy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I know. But that's
but
where
it
it's
is
just
fun.
like,
I just found it funny, like the fight that you were holding on to, I thought was more recent than 2020.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but I kept saying it because, I just wanted him to lose for your draft. But ultimately, I went Lerone Murphy by decision because I knew that's what I figured would happen.
That was the most likely most likely outcomes were either Lerone Murphy decision or Danny Ige knockout, just because he does have that, power when he gets it right. You know what I mean? If he gets it on a counter is when he gets a lot of his knockouts. He doesn't get it because it was something he was setting up. He sets up a counter for it. Not so much, all right, now I'm going to hit him with a right hand and he's going to go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, with Lerone getting it done, getting another top 15 win for himself, where would you guys like to see him go next? Because I was just going to say, like, for me, I feel like a good step up in competition for him be him versus Josh Emmett.
And he called out Josh Emmett, I'm pretty sure.
He called out Josh Emmett. That's who I was going to...
Oh, yeah.
He called him out after.
Josh hasn't fought since Bryce Mitchell. So I don't really know what's going on with him, because wasn't it around that fight that he was talking about possibly moving up to 55 or just...
Yeah, before that fight, he was saying that he wanted to move up to 55 for his retirement fight.
Right, so I wonder if he's just kind of contemplating retirement. Like, I don't know if he wants just another young undefeated guy, or if he wants to set up a retirement fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no idea, but... I did not realize that he called him out. What a motherfucking ballsy call out too, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, like you said, he is older for sure. His game is very simple: overhand right, fucking sprawl and brawl. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yep.
But, bruh, even still, it's like he is coming off of doing that to Bryce Mitchell. It's like to be like the next guy of like, yeah, I want to fight him after doing that. Like, yeah, let's go. I like that from Lerone Murphy. Very nice.
Yeah, but so that's where it makes it hard because, I don't know if, I don't know if Josh Emmett's going to take the fight. You know what I mean? That's just very questionable of what he's going to do. And then it's hard because, you obviously have Aljo and Movzar, Brian Ortega talking about he wants to move up to 55.
Yep.
And, he's not going to get anyone higher than Ortega. Arnie and Calvin just fought? Is that who it was? Or where did they fight?
Arnie just fought Giga.
Giga, that's what it was.
But I know he's been talking that I'm pretty sure they're they might be looking to do him versus Yair in Mexico City coming up next year.
Okay.
Which, Calvin Kattar I also would not mind.
Yeah, that honestly, Giga, Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, I feel like those are all very good fights and just solid step ups for Lerone Murphy. And if he were to be able to beat any one of them, then it's now you're starting to get to the Arnies, to the fucking Yair. You know what I mean? That's the
Yep.
Let's go. Good performance for Lerone. And Ige. It just definitely sucks for him to take another loss, but he's just a tough motherfucker. He's always going to be around, and he can always get a $50,000 performance bonus in any one of these fights,
Yep.
Let's go. We'll see how that shakes out at the bottom end of 145. Moving on to the pay-per-view opener. Motherfucking Shara Magomedov. Boy, was I not expecting this. I really thought that Armin was going to come out here, just bring the upset and everything.
He looks good in the first round.
Yeah.
Then
the thing with it was just, I really, like, I know that he said that he was like, oh, I'm a better striker, I'm a better grappler, like, I can beat him anywhere. I really thought that was gonna, like, mean he was gonna grapple and, like, try that at all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he just didn't, and that just fucked him. He just fought Shara's fight the entire time.
Well,
other than early on in the first.
I was going to say, like, when it came to the first round, he was doing good because he was putting on a pace and closing the distance, and it was not to Shara's advantage at all, obviously. He was landing good shots, and he was definitely winning that round. But he was putting up a pace he couldn't maintain because you saw him noticeably drop off the second round, proceed to strike with him, and then fall into Shara's game because now he's out of distance. He's eating all these kicks, he's getting hit, and then into Shara's fucking double spinning back fist, like KO, third performance of bonus of the night.
Literally a Tekken move, mind you, which is fucking the fact they pulled a combo out from a fucking fighting game is insane.
Yeah, bro. The fact that this motherfucker said, "I'm gonna throw a front kick to a spinning back fist, and then, you blocked that, let me just come around on the other side real quick, other hand, boop, right on the chin because you were throwing a right hand. You're done, unconscious, like, not fully unconscious, but he was done and out, you know.
He was done because Shara walked off, and it's not like he tried getting up or tried to be like, oh, I'm here. He just folded back up. Yeah,
that was it. Good for Shara, man. Improves to 15-0, remains undefeated as well. He called out Izzy. And then he said that Izzy's only option is, if he doesn't fight him, is to retire.
Shara, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah, man. It's like that's not really where you're at yet. You know what I mean? You beat Armin Petrosian, man. It's like
he sound like them talking about, I'm gonna be the next one filling in for the title. Like
yeah, exactly. It's I would love to see him versus Michel Pereira. That is the fight that they should do.
I like that fight. The only other fighter that I had in my head when I was talking about this, talking about fights for him, was him versus Kevin Holland would be fun.
Yeah, him versus Kevin Holland would be a lot of fun. That is definitely another good fight.
Either of those fights, I'm fine with.
Because didn't he originally call out Izzy, Kevin Holland, and who the fuck was the third person?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It might have been Michel Pereira.
Maybe. But that is definitely...
Very likely.
Yeah, Michel Pereira, Kevin Holland, either one of those are just fun fights, you know, with just bigger names. Just a nice step up in competition. So, yeah, definitely would love to see that. And see how his game continues to evolve, and if he's able to get a little bit better with obviously definitely looked better with his just the boxing, boxing. He was throwing
the hands,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to see way more actual striking rather than kicks from him throughout the first round.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely still a lot to improve for him to be hanging with the big dogs at the top of the division.
No, yeah.
But that was the pay-per-view portion of the card. On the prelims, we had a lot of good shit, a whole lot of sad shit, and just some bad shit too. Ibo Aslan, he ran over this fucking
ran over Rafael.
Bro, that was just such a it was like, as soon as it ended, it was just like, yeah, that was a non-fight. Good for Ibo, he got the early finish, but it just really felt like such nothingness. You know what I mean? It was,
meant nothing.
Yeah. And then the one before that, Jeff Neal versus RDA. As soon as it started, Jeff just putting the pressure on, going, just throwing some shots, lands a good left hand and just sits RDA down quick, and it was just, as soon as that happened, it was like, oh fuck, like this, it's like, yep, this is just the beginning to the end. Just gets back up, lands another good left hand, and RDA, the way he fell back, he was just instant, before he even went down, he was grabbing at his leg and just blew his knee out or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just...
Happy 40th birthday, RDA.
Yeah.
On his
terrible.
40th birthday. I told y'all he didn't need to be fighting on his 40th birthday.
No, not at all.
He should have been celebrating with his family.
Yep. It was also just crazy that afterwards RDA said that his entire UFC career, that was only the second time ever that he's been hospitalized after a UFC fight. And I'm just like, that doesn't seem like that should be the case.
Yeah, and we're pretty sure we found the one other time he was hospitalized when he got a jaw injury in 2010 against Clay Guida.
Yeah.
Because if this is the second time he's been to the hospital was an injury, I'm just going to assume the one injury on his record other than that is,
Yep.
Which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a world we live in, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like it just sucks because it just sucks for RDA. The win means absolutely nothing for Jeff Neal. Even if it wasn't an injury and he just got a first round knockout, it still wouldn't really mean much, you know what I mean? But now it just means even less. So yeah, we'll just see what happens with each of them.
It means he's not on a 2-fight losing streak anymore.
Very true. Very true.
I could see a Jeff Neal and potentially like Gilbert Burns materializing because Burns, if he continues fighting, is going to probably be fighting down right now. So I could see a situation like that.
Michael
I could
Morales
see a Jeff Neal versus. I was about to say Morales.
Yeah, that's the proper fight to go.
It's the proper steps. Neil Magny into Jeff Neal.
Yep.
I was about to say, speaking of Neil Magny into Jeff Neal, I mean, shit, if Prates beats Neil Magny, he could get a shot at Jeff Neal.
Well, so Jeff, won this one, and so now he's going to fight Michael Morales on a quick turnaround because, it was a nothing fight. And after he loses that, Carlos Pratt's going to beat Neil Magny, and that lines him up perfectly for the Carlos Pratt fight. I mean, either way, both of those would be really fun fights with Jeff Neal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
We'll see how that goes. 160-pound catch weight got fight of the night between Mateusz Rebecki and Mektabek Otabay. Mateusz Rebecki, the only underdog on the card to get a win. Good for him. But, brother, this was such a fucking war. Yeah. What a fight between these two guys. The swelling on Orabay's eye to just like blow up so crazily, and then he opens up a cut on Mateusz Rebecki on his right eye, so blood's just leaking through. Yeah, great fight between them. And then it was just funny too because Dana White afterwards saying that like when he saw his eye, like just first thought was, oh, his orbital's fucked, and it was just like, nope, soft tissue, or like I think soft tissue swelling.
Yeah, soft tissue swelling, and it's just like what?
Nothing broken at all. Just his fucking cheek blown up past his fucking eye by the end of it. But these two guys definitely deserve more than a $50,000 bonus for the fight that they put on. I was so surprised that the doctor let them just keep going. I mean, Mektabek could see it.
I told you, as he walked over to the doctor, I could see him blinking, which meant he could open it.
But what about going into the third round? They didn't even think to check him again after that.
He was fine the first time, he's fine the second time. Whatever.
I do not believe that. But yeah, and because I think it was the third round where Mektabek got hurt real bad. Mateusz looked like he almost had him out of there, and then for him to be able to survive, get up, reverse it, looked like he almost had Rebecki out of there because Rebecki was just absolutely exhausted at that point. Just an amazing fight between the two.
Yeah, it was insane. Just back and forth.
Bruno Ferreira, man. I can't believe he lost like this to Abus Magomedov. I really didn't think it would play out this way. I thought this was supposed to be easy Bruno walking in, first round knockout. Couldn't believe he was the underdog. And then it was just like, oh, this is going to make it out of the first round. And then it was like, oh, this is going to see a third round. And then we thought that it was probably just going to end up going to a decision. And then it was like, oh, no, Bruno shit the bed. There's an arm triangle. He's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, goddamn, man. It's just so crazy how just with certain fighters, the wins that they get and then the losses that they get. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yep.
But good for Abus to get that win. But yeah, definitely just sad for Bruno. Really wanted him to get it done.
Yeah, same.
Even more sad though.
I have no idea where Abus goes from here.
I don't know.
He'll just be fighting whoever the fuck they want him to fight.
Yeah.
He's such a weird person to be like, oh yeah, no, he should fight.
filming anywhere,
Yeah.
But extremely sad to see. Motherfucking Chris Barnett, man. This was not the way that it was supposed to go down at all. Just injures his, I don't know if it was the ankle or leg, just something, some part, just early into the first round. You saw it bothering him, like just noticeably wincing and just, making faces because of it every time he tried to step off it or anything. And then, Kennedy just started pouring it on him, gets the first round TKO. That
sucked.
Yeah. Just one of the earlier things to happen in the card of like, oh, this is sad. Like, so many sad things in this card, man.
Yeah, Chris Barnett is great, and it's like, it sucks. His house just got lost in the hurricanes that happened in Florida. He finally gets to come back into the fight, and then to just injure yourself after being off for 2 years already,
Yep.
Yeah, just terrible.
Yeah, older too, so it's just probably gonna take another while for him to recover from the injury, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's nothing major and just but yeah, definitely seemed like probably gonna. And the fact that he felt it and it was clearly a problem, and then went as much and doing as much off of it from there. He definitely only made it worse throughout the couple minutes that he went on it.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just definitely sucks to see. Good for Kennedy in his UFC heavyweight debut, but it's just shows nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows nothing. Literally can slot him in against any heavyweight, and it's it'd be just as much of a test at this point than what this was. So
yeah. And it's just if anything, even the fact that I kind of took him as long to go after him like he did when he was noticeably injured, it's just one of those things of oh, okay, But yeah, so we'll see how. I don't think he'll do too good at heavyweight, but we'll see. Book him against fucking Tafa, you know what I mean? Just go with that. But yeah.
That or Marcos Rogerio de Lima, I don't mind that either.
Yeah.
Either way.
But a very good performance from motherfucking Farid Basharat, weighing in at 137 pounds for this featherweight bout because Victor Hugo just decided to come in. This was a bantamweight fight, and this motherfucker missed weight for a championship bout at featherweight. 145.5 on the scales. Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, missing weight by 9.5 pounds is fucking crazy. And yeah, to
literally
your point,
the weight class
it would have missed weight for a championship bout at a weight class up and just 10.5 pounds off from his own weight class's championship weight. What the fuck happened?
For real. What happened?
I don't know. But
I haven't even seen anything about it. Yeah, so Farid to just still be out there and do what he did, good for him.
Yeah, definitely had to go through some adversity, ate some big shots, got hurt a little bit, but just
noticeably smaller in there. It was crazy.
Bro, just every time, it's just one of those things where it's you get a lot of shots from just seeing fighters from their back and stuff. And it's fucking Farid, just straight down slender person, and then Victor Hugo, just a jacked ass person. His lats were crazy, and for Farid to just go in there and just know what he had to do and just dismantle the bombs coming at him and to just, what I mean? It was just easy unanimous decision win for him. A great a great performance. Remains undefeated. Yeah, just very solid, and I definitely do think he deserves a top 15 opponent next for sure.
For sure.
No, yeah. Something we did not hear, at least I didn't hear it during the fight, was between round 2 and 3, Victor Hugo's corner saying to him, "That's your contract." So I'm wondering if they were told hey, if you lose here, you're gone, which makes sense because they have he had a cancer fight with Daniel Marcos, where he missed weight. He's missed weight twice, and this one was huge.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And the last time he only missed by 2.5 pounds last time, but missing by the weight class up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Dana notoriously does not like it when people miss weight. That's a very big, you're going to get on the shit list real quick if you're missing weight,
Yeah. If you're a pound and a half, once, maybe twice, he's going to let it go. But when you're over consistently and over by 2.5 pounds, 9.5 pounds,
yeah,
you're not going to last long. You just
not
aren't.
at But yeah, other than that, Bruno Silva 4 in a row on a losing streak. That's just very rough, very sad to see. Good for Ismail Nardiev returning to the UFC back down at 185 pounds this time, but he definitely looked very solid in this one.
Fucking a boost versus Ishmael. Their timelines match up.
Yeah, why not? Let's go. But the last
slot him in.
The last thing that we have to bring up.
These motherfuckers.
Bruh, this started the card with because it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm so excited for a card, and like, you know what I mean? When you're so hyped, it's like, you know that on the other end of it, it could end up being very bad if everything does not go out. Like, and Rinat Fakhretdinov and Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal coming over. He was a PFL fighter, had a fight in LFA UAE Warriors. 2 first-round knockouts, just no problem. Should be in a big promotion. Gets the shot short notice against Rinat on this card. And they had a great fight. It was such a good back and forth. Carlos Leal won that motherfucking fight.
Yes.
If anything, that should have been 29-28 for Carlos. And like, when the fight ended, it was just kind of like like Carlos won, like, you know, so I just went off like during the stream to just go do whatever, and then I came back and Rinat has his hand raised, and they start saying, and I was like, what the fuck? And then the commentary says that there was a 30-27 scorecard for Rinat, and it's like, okay, this shit's just fixed. Yeah,
it feels like, because there's no a 30-27 is you have a better spot. You have a better chance of arguing Carlos Leal for 30-27.
Yeah,
100%. You just genuinely do.
100%.
And so for him to get that wrong, if it was like all three 29-28, okay, that feels bad. But like, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
But 30-27 is just a horrendous scorecard.
Yeah. Terrible.
And Carlos just did win that fight. Like, he should have won that fucking fight.
It's like rounds 1 and 2. Not only was Carlos doing a great job just defending all the grappling and not letting Rinat do anything with it. It's like, got some control time, but it's like Rinat literally did nothing with it. So, and any bit of the grappling is just null and void to the fight and how it's scored. Basically, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't mean anything. He was easily landing the more impactful shots, and then he also landed more shots too. It's like,
Bruh, the fact, because I just had to double check this because I thought it was all 3, so at least one judge did good. But the fact that 2 judges gave Rinat round 1.
Yeah, that's
how.
No.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure one judge, it was all 3 rounds. The other judge was 2 and 3, and then the other judge was 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a single media member scored it for Rinat, and a majority of them scored it 30-27 for Leal.
Yeah, man. Like, Carlos Leal won that fight. Like, that should have been him losing to Sadabusi in the PFL, 3-fight win streak, like, gets into the UFC with that, you know what I mean, the 3rd fight on that win streak, and looking to fight a top 15 opponent because he just beat Rinat Fakhretdinov, and that's where he should be heading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you think the UFC will do the right thing and just move him up in competition anyway, you know?
I don't know.
Maybe.
He probably just fights someone right about there because it's like especially at the back end of 115, like it's just or like at the top 15, it's starting to get stacked, you know.
No, yeah, for sure.
So it's gonna get real. It's already been hard to break into 170, but with where everything is at, like once these guys that are moving up in the back end are starting to get more logjam towards the top, you know, then it's like, bro, it's gonna, in the next like 2 years, it's gonna be damn near impossible for guys to break into the top 15. Like, it's gonna be at like 155 where you're gonna have to have like all the hype in the world, or you're gonna be on a 5, 6, 7 fight win streak to get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, yeah, for real. I think like he could be fighting some people. Like, I think a couple of people he could be fighting next, like that I wouldn't mind seeing him against, would be like Gabriel Bonfim, Themba.
God, no,
Nico Price, D-Rod, like
not
those
Nico
are the
Price.
Those are kind of that's the area that I can see him fighting in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just like he should definitely be up above that for sure. Like it. But yeah, we'll see how the UFC decides to make both of them after that. But I feel like after that fight, they should both just be match made up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Let's go. Those are all of the fights to talk about from this weekend. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will catch you on the preview to the motherfucking Canada card. Let's go. Peace out, everyone.
Let's go.